Welcome back to my channel, Nefra More Presents. I am Nefra. And today I want to talk to you guys about 5 things that I've learned in my healing journey. But before I get into the 5 things, I want to discuss the healing journey. What is it? What is it about? And healing journey is simply about overcoming your past mistakes, your past pains, your past traumas, and making sure that you are walking with the purest intent in heart, mind, and spirit. It means that you no longer have daddy issues and you've worked through your mama trauma, and you've also worked through family fiascos, and you have come to a place where you are just walking in a new. You are walking in a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way of loving. And you are ultimately grateful for that. And you are using what you've learned in your healing journey to bring you to your present so you can learn how to operate in your present, and also you know how to operate in the future. A healing journey is definitely something that is ongoing. As long as you're alive, all of us should be in a healing journey, but we just know that's just not the case for all of us. But for those of you who are really in your healing journey, know that there is a light at the end of that tunnel. Understand that there is love, there is joy, there is peace on the other side of everything that you're going through. And let me tell you something about overcoming the past and overcoming trauma. You're not going to want to go through that. I'm just going to be honest. It is really, really tough to go through. But if you stick it out, allow God to do a work in you, and you get healed from your past trauma, hurt, and pain, let me tell you something. It is so worth it. Well, like, I don't want to go through it again. I really don't. But you know what? It is absolutely, positively worth all of the pain and heartbreak that I had to endure in my healing journey. And so today I want to share with you guys 5 things that I had to learn in my healing journey to get to a state of having abundance of love and an abundance of peace, joy, gentleness, meekness, long suffering, which is patience, and of course, self-control. Okay, so let's get into it right now. Number 5, one of the things I had to learn in my healing journey is that your vulnerability is your superpower. Yep, vulnerability is your superpower. The attitude or the skill to really talk to yourself and even communicate with others in a vulnerable state is your superpower. The ability to say, I don't know. I don't have the answer. The ability to tell the truth about negative emotions that we feel, right? Saying to someone, I'm angry in this moment and I feel misused in this moment, or I feel scared in this moment. When I tell you vulnerability is your superpower, it literally sets you free. But also what I've learned in my healing journey, and we're going to go to number 4 in what I've learned in my healing journey, is that you have to be willing to be vulnerable with yourself first before you're vulnerable with anyone else. If you cannot admit some things to yourself, if you I won't let your mind go to places that they really need to go, in fear of a breakdown, in fear that you won't be able to pull yourself out, in fear that, you know what, it's going to turn me into a bad person or a mean person. I'm here to tell you that is the number 1 lie of the devil. It really is. It really is. I really want you to understand that number 5 is vulnerability is your superpower. Learn to be vulnerable. And number 4 is you first have to learn to be vulnerable with yourself. Don't go out here spilling your secrets to everybody and talking to everybody and being vulnerable with everybody. No, you first have to do that for yourself, meaning get in prayer, talk to the God in you and say, you know what, I'm lonely and I just really don't know if I'll ever find that one person that's going to love me for me. God, I'm scared that I'm going to end this life by myself and that I don't know what to do. When I tell you that vulnerability draws God so near to you that it is absolutely powerful. I'm going to have to tell you that. I need you guys to understand that. So number three of what I've learned in my healing journey is that what you don't address will show up in your life. And you do not have the power of where it shows up because you're not addressing it. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. What you do not address in your life, whether it be negative experiences, negative emotions, negative thought patterns, limiting beliefs, what you do not address will show up in your life and you do not have control over when it shows up. Meaning it can show up at the most inopportune times. It can show up as a breakdown at work. It can show up as a breakdown at home in your private time. It can show up as depression. And even more critical, it can show up in your children. And you don't get to dictate how that looks in them because they're their own person. So addressing everything in the nooks and the crannies of your mind and your heart is going to be crucial. Now, number 2 kind of goes with number 3, and that is the number 1 trick of the devil is to lie to you. So if you're lying to yourself, you could never be set free. This is what I had to learn. I had to stop lying to myself that I was okay when I wasn't okay. I had to stop lying to myself that I was lonely when I'm not lonely, but I really was lonely, right? I think what gets us caught up in lying to ourselves is affirmations. What? Never? Yeah, affirmations. I am enough. I am worthy. I am loved. I am. And all of this is great. I want you to tell yourself that. Let me tell you something. I'm not saying don't do it. But if you're not doing the work to address it and to actually feel like you're enough, because it's not good enough that you speak it. You got to feel it. Because when you feel it, you know it. And when you know it, you behave accordingly. It's the be, do, have method. First, you have to be love in order for me to have love. And then in order for me to walk in love. First, I have to be peace in my mind, heart, and spirit. Then I can have peace. Then I can walk in peace. And the walk is the doing. Keep in mind, the number 1 thing the devil tries to get you with is he lies to you. You snatch onto that lie and you begin to lie to yourself. One must always be examining their heart to see what's in it. Okay? All righty. And here is number 1. The number 1 thing that I have learned in my healing journey is that, again, if you don't address it, it will keep repeating itself. Yeah, I said that in number 3, and I am still clear that whatever you don't address will show up in your life, and you don't have control over where it's going to show up. But number 1 means when it shows up and you're not paying attention, guess what? It's going to keep repeating. Yes, I fell into that same trap because I kept dating the same guy over and over. He just had a different name and different pair of pants, but it was the same guy. So I had to declare celibacy. I had to really start addressing my daddy issues, because what women won't really talk about is their daddy issues. And some of us women, we don't have daddy issues. But I'm sorry, I had daddy issues. I had daddy issues, and I needed to address those daddy issues first. And I need to know that I'm enough. Because also that was what I was thinking, that I wasn't enough. And what the devil did was he put feelings of inadequacy on me. And then I felt like I was unworthy. And so I operated in the unworthiness, which was a limiting belief. But once I started saying I am enough, I had to be enough. Meaning whatever God put before me, whether it was a project at work, whether it was dealing with something within my family, whether it was dealing with something within my friends, or because I do mentor, because it was dealing with something with the women that I mentor, if I felt as if though I wasn't enough, or I was inadequate for this situation, I said, God, right now I'm depending on you. I'm leaning on you. Lord, let's do this together. I partnered with God. I partnered with the Holy Spirit in me so that we can accomplish that thing. And then that's when I was being and having enough, because I always flourished in whatever project it was. Yes. And then guess what? I could do it again. Now I can walk in the enoughness or the worthiness of being enough, simply because I was able to act that thing out. I was able to walk that thing out. I'm saying this because the trick of the devil is to lie to you in your 30s about something that happened to you when you was 13. And he's going to have you believe that that same thing is operating in your life right now when it's really not. You just never addressed it. And because you never addressed it, guess what? It's showing up. And not only is it showing up, it's going to repeat. Listen, y'all are learning from my 5 things that I have learned in my healing journey. And listen, I need you to understand you learn how to be different when you heal. You learn how to be amazing when you heal. You learn how to do it differently and speak in love and walk in love with people when they're not being their best. So when I say I love people, I absolutely positively mean that. I am not the type of person that shies away. I don't like, oh, is it a lot of people? I don't like a lot of people. I don't like a lot of, I keep my circle small. Well, I don't keep my circle small. I have some very intimate friends that I have shared some deepest with. That's probably only one person. And then I have an outer circle, and then I have everybody else. And I don't intentionally do that. I only do it because my Holy Spirit has led and guided me on who I can confide in and who I need not to confide in. And I'm not going to mistreat that person. I'm going to not exclude that person. I'm not going to not do what I have to do with that person, but I'm definitely going to understand everyone's role in my life, because when you're walking in purpose, in the healed state of you, when you're walking in purpose, you have to understand the role that everyone plays in your life. When I meet new people and they latch on to me, my first response is, Holy Spirit, what is this? Holy Spirit, who is this? Holy Spirit, what do I need to be doing here? So I'm not alone. I'm not alone in when I meet new people. They are literally meeting a God representative because I allow God to wear me. Okay, yes, I love that. So the 5 things, we're going to go over those 5 things one more time. So number 5 was, do y'all remember? Vulnerability is your superpower. Yes, vulnerability is your superpower. Number 4 is that you have to be vulnerable with yourself first. Don't go out being vulnerable with everybody else. Number 3, what you do not address will show up in your life, and you do not have control over how it shows up. You have to be able to control how it shows up. And the only way you can control how it shows up is if you are addressing it. So then you're aware of it, right? And so you can stop yourself. You can excuse yourself. You can do something different in that moment because you are aware of it. I love that. And then, of course, number 2, do we remember? Number 2 is that the devil is going to lie to you. And you're going to believe those lies because he's going to attach it to something that happens in the past. And he's going to make you feel a certain way about it. And so you think that's still occurring right now when it's not. And then the number 1 is what you don't address will repeat. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I hope I was able to bless you guys on 5 things that I have learned in my healing journey. And next week, I'm going to talk to you guys about 5 things that I had to unlearn, because that's what we don't do sometimes. We keep those old habits. We keep those old friends. We keep that old thinking process. We keep that old behavior that no longer serves us. Because when you're healed, you are really tapping into your higher self, tapping really into the God in you to help you maneuver through everything. And what's going to be super, 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 super important is that you learn how to be new. Listen, I'm brand new from just last week. I'm brand new. So ultimately, guys, what I want you guys to do is I want you to really think about your healing journey. Think about where you are and think about what you're learning, because healing is about awareness. It's awareness of who you are. I hope I was able to bless somebody on today. I love each and every one of you, and I want to leave you some things. Number 1, healing is not your purpose, but it is definitely part of the process. And number 2, keep in mind that you have purpose and you have power. I am loving you all in God. Until next time. Bye.